Hi, everyone, and welcome to our Security Center SaaS Spring Updates Roundup. Thanks for taking the time to join us today. My name is Louis-Alexandre Saint-Laurent-Migoche. I am a product marketing manager for Security Center SaaS.
And my name is Samiha Rahman, and I'm a product specialist for Security Center SaaS. Today's session is all about giving you a clear, practical overview of Security Center SaaS and what to expect from Genetec's newest cloud offering. We'll walk through the latest release features and upcoming roadmap items, pillar by pillar, starting with video, then moving through with access control, forensics and automation, platform, and finally, management and infrastructure. We'll also look at all the tools and resources available to you to optimize your experience with SC SaaS. But before we dive in, let's quickly go over what sparked the creation of Security Center SaaS in the first place.
Thank you, Samia. So yes, let's discuss what led us to launch Security Center SaaS about a year ago now. So the first thing to address is that Genetec has been delivering a lot of cloud solutions and capabilities for about 12 years now. So we delivered a lot of innovation, launched a lot of different solutions, some more successfully than others. And we've accumulated a significant number of customers that use one or multiple of these cloud solutions. But there is a clear downside to having a large portfolio of disparate cloud products. It creates complexity to navigate that ecosystem. Which brings us to last year when we introduced Security Center SaaS. So we consolidated these cloud capabilities into a single unified offering that delivers security on a continuum. And that's the idea that security is not a one-time implementation. It's an evolving experience. From the vastness of security capabilities to the flexibility in how it's deployed to the changes in how it's consumed. It's not just a one-time thing. It's an evolving product. And the core value that we want to deliver with SaaS revolves around the idea of ease. We want a solution that makes your life easier, that makes you more efficient in your tasks, and that makes you more productive, right? So the whole experience should be easy. And that is across the spectrum. So from easy to find, easy to procure, easy to deploy with new apps and tools that provide that modern SaaS experience when first starting the system, but also when you add new sites and devices. Also easy to use with a familiar, intuitive UX that adapts to the job to be done. And finally, easy to maintain. So it's hassle-free, always up to date, automated firmware and software updates. There's a big focus on removing friction from the maintenance activities. And the idea of ease, that value proposition, is supported or based on 4 key statements. And we'll go into each one quickly. The first one, SaaS the way you want it, is really about the flexibility and versatility of the solution. And that's mostly shown through its open architecture, which is demonstrated in the product ecosystem. So it begins with the various client applications, as I mentioned, the web app, the mobile, the desktop application, that each provide a different role-based experience. So depending on who you are, who's using the solution and why, they might prefer one or the other or a combination of them. Then if we bring our attention to the managed appliances for video and access control, we're soon going to have a lot more than that. But we're pushing processing and storage to the edge. We're streamlining deployments of multiple sites. We're connecting and ingesting data from multiple devices as well. Then we have direct to cloud, which is, as of today, cameras and door controllers, but which will soon support things like intrusion and intercoms. And finally, there's also the possibility to combine an on-premises system with a SaaS deployment through federation. The next statement is go beyond security. So what we're seeing here is that we want to help you go from core safety and security, which is focused mostly on asset protection and people's safety, to more advanced operations in a way. So in other words, how do we make the collaboration and processes that involve other stakeholders outside of the security team more efficient? Because ultimately, that's what the security team is doing. They're working with different stakeholders within and outside of the organization. So another way to look at the evolution of our portfolio is on a timeline, where we see the core safety and security capabilities as you see them here with things like video management, access control, threat levels, things of that nature. So what we're introducing or developing are these new solutions and capabilities that are either part of this current SaaS experience or will be part of that experience in the short term, and it'll allow us to better manage security and to collaborate with other teams. So we're talking about work management with ticketing and dispatching capabilities, which is done through Operations Center. There's also digital evidence management with clearance, for example. It lets you consolidate and review digital evidence, but it also helps you quickly and securely share video recordings with the various stakeholders that need them, whether that be law enforcement, prosecutors, legal. And finally, we have Clear ID services that are built in Security Center SaaS to provide identity management capabilities and also help with things like access requests and visitor management. The next one, sophisticated and robust. And that refers to the fact that Security Center SaaS can both provide enterprise-grade features while also providing the streamlined user experience that is expected from a SaaS solution. So a key element of that robustness is in the form of the very high availability of the system, and that is coupled with different data privacy and security certifications that our solution has attained, or the regulations that it can allow you to comply with, for example, GDPR. So some of which is due to the fact that we have data centers across different regions to comply with data residency requirements. And the final message is nonstop. So what I mean by that is that we refer to how we have a continuous delivery model with basically zero downtime, right? Which means that it's available, you get access to the latest features without needing to go through any kind of cumbersome update process. So this is our high-level roadmap. We're showing how far we've come as we've improved the product over different domains. I'm talking about video, access control, forensics. As Samia said, we'll go into each one of them. And what's notable is that on average, we're releasing a new feature every 12 days since launch. All right, so let's talk about the major updates that we have done in video surveillance as a service. So the first, device support continues to grow. So we now support multi-sensor cameras, which allow operators to monitor wide areas more effectively using a single device. And this has been available as of last summer. More recently, we also added support for fisheye cameras, including de-warping in the web clients. So that means that operators can now view and interpret panoramic footage much clearly. It gives better context, especially in open and or high traffic areas. We've also expanded direct-to-cloud camera support with new onboard integrations for Bosch and iPro models. So that lets you deploy more devices without the need for a local appliance. I talked about open architecture and having a flexible and versatile solution. That's part of that, and we're trying to achieve the product. Next, we've also made improvements to how video is recorded and streamed. So we have SD card recording that is now available, which means that video can be stored directly on the device for added resiliency, which is especially useful for mobile or low bandwidth deployments. And at the same time, we also introduced recording profiles so that you can define and also apply preset configurations, things like resolution, frame rate, and retention. Any kind of configuration that you would expect can be applied to one or multiple cameras. So this simplifies device provisioning and ensures consistency. We also just released the support for Axis and Anwa PTZ cameras. And on the streaming side, we're also now supporting direct peer-to-peer streaming with WebRTC. So Samia will talk about those last two features in more detail in just a moment. The last feature that we released not that long ago was the Bosch firearm detection analytics, which is now supported in SaaS. So this gives customers another layer of proactive threat detection with cloud-based deployment and centralized alerting.
Thanks for that, LA. So let's take a deeper look at one of the key upgrades that we're excited to share, support for WebRTC-based peer-to-peer streaming. Previously, we relied on RTSP, which meant video streams had to go through a central server. That worked, but it added some overhead, more latency, more bandwidth, and more infrastructure to manage. With WebRTC, we're enabling direct peer-to-peer connections between clients. That means faster stream startup times, lower latency for a more real-time experience, and less strain on your network and infrastructure. We've also added support for PTZ. This means operators can remotely control camera movement, panning across a scene, tilting up or down, and zooming in to focus on specific details, all directly from the Security Center SaaS operation desktop application. Simply point and click on the areas of interest, and the camera will automatically readjust and focus. You can also define PTZ presets, which are pre-configured camera positions that let you quickly jump between key viewpoints. These presets can be defined in the desktop app, but they can also be viewed from both the desktop and web applications. Whether you're tracking movement across a large area or zooming in to verify an incident, PTZ support gives you more flexibility and control in real time.
All right, let's continue with a few more coming enhancements that will improve how video is recorded, managed, and navigated in the cloud. First, recording policies for cloud-link managed cameras. So this will make it easier to scale configurations across multiple devices, especially for large environments. So you'll be able to apply recording settings in bulk, streamlining setup, as well as updates across sites. Then we have SD card buffering for direct-to-cloud cameras. So when there's a network disruption, cameras will now be able to buffer video locally to the SD card and then automatically resume streaming once the connection is restored. This will first roll out with access devices, with more to follow. This will free up space to run more applications at the edge. And we're also introducing advanced recording policies. So this allows you to define and apply multiple policies to different devices, right? So for example, a primary policy for normal operations, and you could have a secondary one for higher quality or extended retention during specific events. And finally, we're improving the video playback experience with thumbnail-based scrubbing, as we all know from things like YouTube, right? So this lets operators quickly preview video as they scroll so that they can more easily find the right moment. They can find it faster and respond more efficiently. And we're also adding direct-to-cloud support for ANWA cameras. This gives you access to a broader hardware lineup while continuing to reduce the on-prem footprint. That's going to make it easier to deploy across more environments. And you'll get support for multi-sensor, fish ID warping, and privacy protection. Although you need to keep in mind that advanced features like forensic search, motion events, and edge recording aren't supported in direct-to-cloud mode just yet. But together, these updates make cloud video a lot more resilient, more flexible, and easier to manage at scale.
All right, so let's move into access control as a service. Over the past few months, we've made a lot of progress on both the capabilities and flexibility of access control in the cloud. We'll start with what's been newly released, and then we'll look at what's coming next. Let's kick it off with new capabilities that focus on automation, compliance, and visitor experience. First up, we have the new mobile visitor kiosk. This is a mobile app that lets staff scan a visitor's QR code from their invitation, check them in and out, and view key info, like their access permissions, watchlist status, and check-in status. It complements traditional physical kiosks and gives the team a flexible, portable way to manage visitors, especially in environments where not every entry point has a dedicated terminal. Secondly, we've also introduced SCIM-based provisioning with Entra ID for cardholders. This allows you to automatically create and update cardholders in Security Center SaaS based on attributes. It's a huge step forward in aligning the access control with IT identity governance, and it removes a lot of manual work for admins. These updates are all about tightening the link between identity and access while giving teams tools to act quickly and securely. We've also got some updates on the hardware side. If you haven't seen the announcements yet, we're excited to introduce 2 new Access powered by Genetec network door controllers to our lineup. We've got the A1710, which supports up to 4 doors and 8 OSDP readers. And we've also got the A1810, which I've got right here with me, which supports 8 doors and 16 OSDP readers. They're built for centralized installations and offer a simplified enrollment experience within Security Center SaaS. From a deployment standpoint, this line is all about plug-and-play access control. With Genetec's Synergist software built directly into the controller, Access powered by Genetec offers fast setup, low maintenance, and full compatibility across various environments. They're also cyber secure by design, featuring secure boot and an EAL rating of 6+. All right, so what's coming up next for access control as a service? We've been building the foundation for our cloud-based access control solution to ensure it's secure, scalable, and future-ready. In the months ahead, we're excited to roll out new capabilities that will bring even more value and functionality to your Security Center SaaS experience. What's coming up? We've got firmware and password management for Synergist Cloud Links. This means that passwords for Synergist Cloud Link G2s will now be managed by Security Center SaaS. This is to provide the same experience as you have currently with the APPG units, where the admin can request the password from the platform to connect locally to the unit. We're also making firmware upgrades for Synergist Cloud Link G2s easier, so Genetec will now manage and deploy firmware updates remotely, which will ensure that devices stay up to date and secure without requiring system integrators or end users to handle manual updates. Next up, we have a major initiative, native identity and cardholder management in Security Center SaaS. This isn't a single feature, it's going to be a multi-phase project that will gradually bring new functionality around identity and cardholder management across both web and desktop apps. The goal is to consolidate and modernize how cardholders and credentials are managed, both in configuration and daily operations. What this means for customers is that there will be fewer silos, a more intuitive user experience, and stronger identity governance across the system. As this evolves, the existing cardholder and credential actions currently split between the operation and configuration apps will be replaced with a more unified and streamlined approach. Next, we're bringing in more and more options for credentials, starting with mobile credentials in Wallet. We're making mobile access even more convenient by enabling credentials to be stored directly in a digital wallet, such as Apple Wallet or Android Wallet, so users can simply tap their phones or smartwatches to gain entry. In addition to mobile credential support, we're also adding support for biometric authentication methods to offer customers stronger, more flexible access options that align with modern security expectations.
And on the forensics front, we added area search to the natural language search capabilities of the service. That was the first update that we did after launch. So this allows operators to be able to specify the location and filter the results based on that. And then we also improved the overall service performance over the summer. What's coming next in terms of forensics? The first thing of note is that the whole user experience will be revamped, and we will be adding a set of features to the existing forensic search capabilities. So this will live in a new tab called Investigations in the left side menu of operation in Security Center SaaS, as you can see here. So one of these capabilities will be suggesting objects, vehicles, or people spotted around the same time of the initial recording of interest that user is currently reviewing. So for example, we could be interested in knowing if there were any other people detected from that same camera or other cameras in our network in the minutes or the hours that preceded or followed. So the UI will also provide when the object or subject entered and then left the scene. So it will allow the operator to quickly click and review that sequence of events. As I've mentioned, we now have the ability to detect objects, which is new. So you could ask the platform to detect objects in a scene, and you also have the ability to select an object, vehicle, or a person of interest in a scene with a bounding box. So that would then bring the user to the instant scene review interface that we've just seen on the previous slide, where you'll see when that person entered or left. And finally, similarity search, which is another complement for investigators, that it will propose recordings for people or vehicles that are similar to the one detected in that initial recording that you're reviewing. So all in all, we're talking about these new capabilities that will allow for a more efficient investigation process, and ultimately will help investigators find out what they're looking for much faster and easier than before.
On the platform side, we're expanding the Security Center SaaS offering with new functionalities and services. We recently added the capability to provision users with SCIM. The same way that it's possible to automatically provision user cardholders with SCIM, it is now possible to provision SC SaaS users in an automated fashion, facilitating user management and reducing the manual work for system administrators. So I'm sure you've all heard of Operations Center. Operations Center is a great tool to facilitate collaboration, work assignment, and incident tracking. It aims to help teams coordinate and communicate more effectively while keeping everything tied to the security system. Operations Center is already included in all premium SC SaaS plans. However, to further improve the operator experience, we are working on developing a seamless integration between SC SaaS and Op Center that will allow users to create tasks in Op Center directly from within the Security Center SaaS applications. This year, we're extending the reach of the SC SaaS platform by introducing intrusion monitoring. This brings intrusion into the same operational environment as video and access control, with unified alarm handling, live monitoring, and custom alarm triggers, all from within the web or desktop applications. At launch, we'll support Bosch panels with monitoring and reporting capabilities powered by cloud-native workloads directly on our Genetec Cloud Link appliances. This means customers won't need any separate systems or integrations. Everything is managed centrally in the cloud with real-time visibility and control. It's supported with both standard and premium SaaS subscriptions and helps customers consolidate more of their security operations into a single cloud-managed platform.
Still on the topic of expanding the platform, intercom support is also coming to Security Center SaaS. So this will start with cloud-ready access intercoms, enabling two-way audio communications between operators and intercom stations directly from the web or the desktop application. It's a natural extension of our unified platform, where we're adding audio-based interactions for entry management, visitor coordination, or incident response, all without needing separate systems. And this really helps security teams act faster, collaborate better, and manage more touchpoints directly within the SaaS environments.
Let's move into the management and infrastructure side of the Security Center SaaS platform. You're likely already familiar with our Genetec Cloud Link appliances, which are managed appliances designed to simplify deployment and management across your security infrastructure. We've recently introduced the Genetec Cloud Link 210, which I've got right here as well, a multi-workload appliance built for flexibility. It's rack mountable, it offers redundant and extended storage options, and it also includes a built-in touchscreen, which you can see here, for on-site device management. As with other CloudLink models, it also benefits from continuous feature delivery through our automated updates. The 210 currently supports up to 64 cameras via the video workload, but support for intrusion is coming very soon, as we mentioned previously. Note that when the multi-workload capabilities become available with the release of the CloudLink 210 and intrusion, it will also be supported on all other members of the CloudLink family. It's now available to quote in the Genetec Portal online store, and units are already officially shipping. As for the variants that we have available, we have 3 models. We have an 8TB, a 22TB, and a dual disk 44TB variant. Standalone, they're priced at $1,900 USD for the 8TB model, $2,400 USD for the 22TB model, and $3,200 USD for the 44TB model. We've also introduced bundled offerings that provide a great value. The 8TB model can be quoted with 8 premium camera connections for $3,100 USD MSRP, offering nearly $400 in savings compared to buying them separately. The 22TB model can be bundled with 20 premium camera connections for $5,900 USD, saving you around $500. These bundles are a great way to position the CloudLink 210 not just as a device, but as part of a complete cloud-managed deployment, and it speeds up the quoting and design process as well.
All right, let's shift our attention to the available resources that we have for you. So as our solutions evolve to help you stay ahead, we've introduced different ways to keep you informed on what's new. So one way to do so is with the product release stream that is found on the website. So that's where we post articles on new features. We provide kind of an overview of what it is, what is the value. It's kind of a summary of all of the recent developments with all of our products, not only with Security Center SaaS. Also, another important source of information is the collateral related to the product available, which you can find on the website's resource center. So we're talking about things like brochures, ebooks, webinar recordings, among other things. And this can be really useful to stay informed about the solution, but also to get a better understanding, and also to share knowledge with the different stakeholders within your organization. So we have assets that cover some broader topics like the adoption of hybrid cloud systems, how to migrate to the cloud, and things of that nature as well. So it's not only product specific, we have broader topics that are covered.
We also have introduced the Security Center SaaS help page, where you'll find all the necessary technical documentation for everything you need to know about SaaS. It includes deployment guides, user guides, admin guides, amongst other things, and we can also find the supported device list as well as data sheets, release notes, and more. We also have training courses available online to ramp up your product knowledge. We're also in the process of revamping these courses as the product develops maturity. To request in-person training, you'll have to contact our training department, and they'll be able to help you. Thanks for joining us for this Security Center SaaS webinar, and we hope to be hearing from you soon.
Thank you.